welcome back to the Ant Village Journal. I'm Jesse, and here in the Ant Village, Montana. It's late July, and as you can see, I'm sitting in the shade right now because it's really hot. Last couple days have been, I don't know, probably in the 90s, but still getting some work done when it's cooled off. A little windy today, so get some relief from that. But what I've been working on is the chainsaw mill. As you see in the last video, I got the carriage and the saw attachment done. So what I've been working on the last couple days are these stands, which will hold the log as it gets milled. And since the saw will be stationary, I had to make the stands movable so the log can move up and down. So what I did was I got them inside these 2x4s to slide up and down, and then I have these kind of scissor jacks in here, and when I spin those, it'll push the log up and down, and I can adjust it and get my cuts lined up and make some slabs. So I cut these V's into the top with my chainsaw so that the logs can sit inside those. I might make some adjustments to them so I can actually screw the log in, make it nice and secure. But now I'm ready to go find a tree and bring it over here and see if I can see this crazy contraption works. Hi there. So right after I ended the last clip, I did manage to cut down a tree, a big Douglas fir that's kind of in the way of the Randy's racetrack. Cut it into some 12-foot sections so that I can mill them up. And then I got a migraine headache and kind of had to lay down for the rest of the day, which was not very pleasant, but I think I was dehydrated and needed to drink more water. But I did manage to feel good enough to try out the mill. And, this is one of the pieces I started cutting. But I ran into some problems. As you can see, it's traveling down, kind of wandering, and I think it's because the blade can move independent of the rail, and so I'm gonna have to rethink this, make it so that the blade is rigidly attached to the carriage. So that's another project for tomorrow. I'm gonna get some more rest because I'm starting to feel my headache again. So I spent most of this morning tinkering with the chainsaw mills, getting me frustrated a little bit. The first two things I tried didn't really work. I realized that the blade has to be fixed to the carriage, or at least relatively fixed, so that it doesn't wander up and down as you're cutting. So you can see I made a couple cuts in this board. The first one started wandering down, and then tried some other things that didn't work. So finally I just came upon this, which is basically just attaching my Alaska mill to the carriage so that at least the weight of the saw is supported by the rail, and you can just push it down it. And that way this guide here makes sure that the blade doesn't wander as I'm sawing it. So I just sawed up a log, a 2-inch one, 2-inch thick slab, and it took me about 10 minutes. Not the fastest, not the easiest thing to do, but I did end up making myself a nice 2-inch slab. See here, this is maybe 2 by 9, 2 by 10 by 16 feet. So that would cost you about at least 20 bucks, 30 bucks maybe even 40 at Home Depot, and it wouldn't be 2-inch nominal, it would be 1.5 inches. So hopefully I can get a lot of these cut up. My next thing I'm going to try doing is attaching like a winch mechanism to the end of this rail here, so that I don't have to actually push the saw down the rail, because that's actually a lot of work. It's just pushing the saw through the log. So that'll be my next project. Right now you can see really sunny, really hot. I'm gonna go get some rest. So here are the huckleberries I've been drying after they've been sitting in the truck for a few days. Probably a little bit longer than they needed to, actually. But they seem to dry it out really well. They're still really tasty. I'm gonna scoop them up. So there you have it. 32 ounces of fresh huckleberries made about a little less than 8 ounces of dried ones, minus the ones I ate and spilled while I was collecting them. But yeah, it's about a quarter. So that's about a couple hours of worth of berry picking right there. And, I've loaded up now with Saskatoons, service berries. See how well they fare drying out. So, after a long day tinkering yesterday, I was finally able to get the chainsaw mill to run smoothly and make some good cuts. Yesterday and this morning I made these 4 boards here. They're 2-inch thick and 12 inches long, or 12 feet long. I think they're quite beautiful. Not like anything you're going to find in a store. But it took a little while to make. But I was able to make the mill run a little bit easier by making this throttle attachment, which I found in this book on chainsaw lumber making that somebody sent me last year along with my chainsaw mill. So I kind of just copied what he did in here. The way this works is I got this piece of metal that's hinging on the saw here, a little piece in there that presses on the throttle, so when you pull on the rope, it pushes the throttle in, makes the saw go. It's also attached to the mill over here. Got a little piece of surgical cord or shock cord right here, just to keep tension on it when it's not being pulled. But then I can stand back here at the winch and just winch along, and as I'm winching, the saw just pulls forward towards me, nice and smooth. You can kind of control the speed, the speed at which you winch controls how fast it goes into log. So if you hear the saw bogging down, you slow down and let it catch up, and it works pretty well. You can just stand back here and winch instead of having to push the saw along. So there's all kinds of ideas like that in this book. Same place I got the winch idea. Pretty cool book here. You gotta check out this guy. He's always smoking his pipe in almost every picture. True lumberjack. Oh yeah, there's the winch. He attaches it to the end of the log, but I just adapted it for my rail here. So I'm gonna go out now and try to find some different logs to cut. The ones I made these boards with were from a Douglas fir, so I'm gonna go try a ponderosa. A little softer, might be a little quicker. Other than that, I still got a lot of other work to do. Got another retaining wall to do on my house over there, and the work never ends. Now I got lots of boards to mill up too, so I'm happy about how this turned out, and I'm glad I could bring it to fruition out of my mind and make it work. So it took a little bit of doing. The first couple things I tried didn't work, and that's how it usually goes when I have a harebrained scheme. Never works out right the first time, but it's working now, and I'm excited about it. And I'm gonna go get some more logs to make my own lumber. So here's a problem I've been running into a lot. Can you guys spot the log hook? It's in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Get me some tape, orange tape or something. Not allowed to use spray paint out here for Paul's rules. But what I'm trying to show you out here is I got my my ponderosas cut down. I took one that was right here in between these other two. Like I said before, I always try to practice good forestry practices as much as I know how. So gave those two a little bit more room to breathe. I got this ponderosa down. I've got that section over there is a 12-foot section. I managed to load it in the back of my truck with some difficulty. And then I've got this 16-foot section here, which I'm going to try to mill up into the kind of box that will hold the dirt on my roof, which is a 16-foot long roof. So I've actually cut this to about 17.5 just for extra space. But I've got to get it to my plot somehow. I can't lift it, that's for sure. So this is showing you guys how I move logs around here. I've got this big thick rope my friend gave me, these shackles. I think it's actually a cable inside of a rope, but I've got that attached to the logs. Just
kind of looped around my trailer hitch. I don't want to tie it because then I would never get the knot out, so it's just kind of wrapped around. What I'm going to try to do is, I got my truck in 4 low. I'll pull forward and see if I can spin this log around and point it out that way so I can get a little bit closer to my truck and drag it over to my spot. So I'll see how it goes. Well, not bad, it moved out pretty easy. I didn't have to give it gas. So what I do now is I got the log right up close to my hitch. I'm just going to shorten up that rope so that it kind of lifts the log up a little bit as I'm driving, and keeps the front end off the ground so it doesn't dig in, and I can just drag on the back end. Hopefully later I can get a chain so I don't keep ripping up my rope. There, so I got the rope a little long, too long, so it's digging into the dirt in front of the log. So I'll have to back up and shorten this and then get it all the way to my plot. Oh, so there you have it, 1 log delivered right next to my mill, and that's a big reason why, one of the big reasons I put this road in here and built the mill next to it so I could easily deliver materials. So now I got these 2 logs, and more material to mill up, so more work to do. Good morning. So one of the best things about being out here at Paul Wheaton's land is that we are connected to the whole Permies.com community. If you don't know about Permies.com yet from watching my videos, it's the biggest permaculture forum online, so you can go in there and there's just threads and forums on all kinds of topics having to do with permaculture and homesteading and natural living. It's a really awesome place. But out on the Wheaton Labs forum, there's a thread called Ant Love and Gapper Love, and there's all kinds of people out there who are watching what we're doing here in the Ant Village and following us and just love what we're doing and want to help and support us. And so they send us gifts and you know, tools that we need, or just little things to lift our spirits, and it's really cool. And honestly, we couldn't be doing this out here with all that support and help, because you know, we get the tools that we need to finish what we're doing. We don't always have a lot of money to go buy what we need, so it really helps and we really appreciate it. So just recently, somebody named Ken sent me some socks, because I go through socks like crazy. There's always holes in my socks after like 3 or 4 times wearing them. So these are called Darn Tough Socks is the brand, and they're made in America in Vermont, and they have a lifetime guarantee. So if they get a hole in them, you can send them back and they'll send you new socks. So I'm going to see if they're as darn tough as they say they are, and give them a test. So thank you, Ken. They are comfortable. So it's been a long day. Very tired. Didn't get much done of anything done around my own plot, but I went up on the mountain above Paul's land here to the neighbors and worked with them today, helping them put together their cabins for the veterans. And yeah, it was just like an 8-hour day, and the sun's hot today for sure. But it was cool. It was kind of just stick frame. We're putting some stud walls up, getting ready. We're just going to be like stud walls and trussed houses. And, yeah, they got a generator and like power tools and nail guns, and it's been a while since I used all this stuff, so it's amazing how fast everything goes together when you got pre-cut studs and power tools and a generator and all that. So it's quite a contrast from doing things around here. It'd be cool to have a generator, I think. Paul let us have a propane generator. That way I could run things like a circular saw and even an electric chainsaw for my mill, things like that. Would be cool, but make do with what I got right now. Made a little bit of money today, which is good, because I'm planning to go out to Oregon this weekend and meet up with my sister, who's going up there on vacation, her and her husband, and hang out with some friends I have in Hood River as well, and maybe even do some work for a friend in Bend and install a garden for her. So yeah, I need a little bit of gas money to get out there, so that was good. Refilling my coffers. Yeah, I'm tired. You might be able to tell. So I'm gonna go into the local town and get a hot meal and a cold drink and relax a little bit. Enjoy a little bit of my hard-earned money. Hey there. So I got my hot meal and cold drink and feel much better, much better. So I decided to do a little bit of work here before it got dark. It's getting there, but I gotta have some time to work on my own stuff. So I got this big log that I got earlier in the video. You guys saw me tow this with my truck, and I peeled it because when I towed it with my truck, it got all full of dirt on the bark, and if I try to mill it with all that dirt in the bark, it's just gonna dull up my chain really quick. So I had to peel off the bark and clean it up a bit. And then I tried to move this thing around, and it's just like way too heavy for me to even move by myself. I was thinking making it 16 feet, because that my roof over there is kind of 16 feet square, 16 feet on each side. I need to make like a drip edge kind of box thing that'll hold the dirt up on top. So I wanted to do just one piece, but I'm realizing 16 feet is just too big of a log for me to handle by myself, and if I have to wait for other people to come around, it's just going to take me forever. So I'm going to cut this one down to 12 feet and mill up that 12-foot section. That's what these boards are here. These are 12 feet, and I can handle those by myself, and it'd be easier getting them up there on the house with the ladder and everything. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm even going to get to mill it tonight. I'm going to work again in the morning up the hill at the neighbor's house. There's lots of that this week, and so I got to make hay while the sun shines. It's always good to get a little money going. That's one of the struggles being out here in the village, is there's not, we're so far from town, I can't have a regular job, so I got to make money where I can, and I really enjoy working for Tom up there, so I'm going to go do that probably in the next few days while I get ready to go on my Oregon trip. So once again, thank you guys so much for following me on this journey here at the Ant Village and following my videos. Like what I'm doing, as always, go out to patreon.com/Jesse Grimes and become a patron. Also, subscribe to my videos and check out the Wheaton Labs forum, my Gapper requests. Looking for volunteers out here. It's in the description below. There's links to all that stuff. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.